Shalom, my friends. I'm Rabbi David, and today I need to warn you about something that's destroying your prosperity. A pattern, a cycle, a habit that's so subtle, so hidden, so normalized that most people don't even see it. But it's killing their financial future. It's blocking their abundance. It's keeping them stuck in poverty. And by the end of this video, you will see this pattern clearly. You will understand how it's destroying your prosperity, and you will know exactly how to break it and activate the wealth that God has for you. But before I reveal this pattern, I need to ask you something. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you feel like you're working hard, but money keeps slipping away? Do you feel like no matter what you do, you can't get ahead financially? Tell me in the comments, because this pattern might be operating in your life right now. Now, before we dive deep into this teaching, I need your help with something important. I'm on a mission to reach 50,000 subscribers, so I can spread this timeless wisdom about wealth, faith, and legacy to even more people. If you believe this wisdom deserves to be shared, if you believe these ancient secrets can transform lives, then please hit that subscribe button right now and join this growing community of modern thinkers and future millionaires. And I have something special for you. I've created the Torah Millionaire Business School, a complete course for just $299, and it's closing soon. In this course, I unveil the full Torah wealth system, the same 3,000-year-old Jewish money laws that built dynasties, protected families, and created unstoppable prosperity. The link is in the comments below. Don't miss this opportunity. All right, let's get into it. Here's the pattern that's destroying your prosperity. Are you ready? It's the pattern of consumption without creation, spending without earning, taking without giving, using without producing, consuming without creating. This is the prosperity killer. This is the wealth destroyer. This is the abundance blocker. And it's everywhere. In our culture, in our habits, in our mindsets, in our daily lives. And if you don't break this pattern, you will stay poor forever. Let me explain what I mean. Most people are consumers. They consume products. They consume services. They consume content. They consume entertainment. They consume food. They consume experiences. They spend their time consuming. They spend their money consuming. They spend their energy consuming. But they don't create. They don't produce. They don't build. They don't generate. They don't add value. They don't solve problems. They don't serve others. They only consume. And here's the spiritual law. Consumption without creation leads to poverty. Spending without earning leads to debt. Taking without giving leads to scarcity. Using without producing leads to lack. But creation leads to prosperity. Production leads to wealth. Building leads to abundance. Generating leads to overflow. Adding value leads to riches. Let me show you this principle in the Torah. In the book of Genesis, God created the heavens and the earth. He didn't consume. He created. He didn't take. He gave. He didn't use. He produced. And after he created, he said, "It is very good." Creation produces goodness. Creation produces abundance. Creation produces blessing. And then God created man in his image. And the first command he gave was, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it. In other words, create, produce, build, generate. Don't just consume, create. In the Garden of Eden, Adam was given work. Tend the garden, cultivate it, make it productive. God didn't put Adam in the garden to just consume the fruit. He put him there to create, to produce, to cultivate. Work came before the fall. Creation came before sin. Productivity is part of God's original design. But when Adam and Eve sinned, what did they do? They consumed without permission. They took the fruit without creating anything. They consumed without producing. And that consumption led to curse, led to scarcity, led to toil, led to struggle. This is the pattern. Consumption without creation leads to curse, but creation leads to blessing. In Proverbs, King Solomon says, "The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy will be put to forced labor." The diligent are creators. They produce, they build, they generate, and they rule. They prosper. They experience abundance. But the lazy are consumers. They take, they use, they consume, and they end up in forced labor. They end up in poverty. They end up in lack. This pattern is destroying your prosperity. And here's how it shows up in your life. Pattern number 1. You consume more than you create. Look at your day. How much time do you spend consuming? Scrolling social media, watching TV, playing games, shopping, eating, entertaining yourself. How much time do you spend consuming? Now, how much time do you spend creating, building a business, developing a skill, serving others, solving problems, adding value, producing something of worth? How much time do you spend creating? If your consumption time is greater than your creation time, this pattern is destroying your prosperity. Because consumption drains resources. Creation generates resources. Consumption depletes wealth. Creation produces wealth. Pattern number 2. You spend more than you earn. This is consumption without creation in your finances. You're spending money you didn't earn. You're consuming products you didn't produce. You're using resources you didn't generate. This is credit card debt. This is living beyond your means. This is financial consumption without financial creation, and it's destroying your prosperity. Because when you spend more than you earn, you're going backwards. You're creating debt. You're creating lack. You're creating scarcity. No matter how much you make, if you spend more, you'll stay poor. Pattern number 3. You take more than you give. This is consumption without creation in your relationships. You're always taking time, taking energy, taking resources, taking help. But you're not giving. You're not serving. You're not adding value. You're not blessing others. And this pattern destroys prosperity. Because in the kingdom of God, givers prosper and takers struggle. Givers attract abundance and takers repel it. Givers experience overflow, and takers experience lack. Pattern number 4. You focus on entertainment more than education. This is consumption without creation in your mind. You're consuming entertainment, movies, shows, games, social media, but you're not creating knowledge. You're not learning. You're not growing. You're not developing skills that create value. And this pattern destroys prosperity. Because entertainment consumes time and produces nothing. But education creates skills. Skills create value. Value creates income. Income creates wealth. These are the 4 ways this pattern shows up. You consume more than you create. You spend more than you earn. You take more than you give. You focus on entertainment more than education. And if any of these patterns are operating in your life, they're destroying your prosperity. They're blocking your abundance. They're keeping you poor. Now let me tell you 3 stories of people who broke this pattern and experienced explosive prosperity. Story number 1. Daniel. Daniel was stuck. He was working a job he hated, making barely enough to survive. Every month he was broke. Every paycheck disappeared immediately. He came to me frustrated and hopeless. I asked him, "Daniel, how do you spend your time?" He said, "I work 8 hours. Then I come home and watch TV for 4 hours, scroll social media for 2 hours, and go to bed." I said, "You're consuming for 6 hours every day and creating nothing. That's why you're broke." I challenged him to flip the pattern. Spend 2 hours every evening creating instead of consuming. Build a side business. Develop a skill. Create content. Produce something of value. He was resistant at first, but he committed. He started a freelance graphic design business. 2 hours every evening, creating, producing, building. Within 3 months, he had his first client. Within 6 months, he was making an extra $2,000 per month. Within 1 year, he quit his job and went full-time. Within 2 years, he was making 6 figures. He broke the consumption pattern. He became a creator, and prosperity flowed. Story number 2. Rachel. Rachel had a different problem. She made good money, but she was always broke. She spent everything she made. New clothes, new gadgets, new experiences. She was a consumer, and consumption was destroying her prosperity. I showed her the pattern. You're spending more than you earn. You're consuming without creating financial margin. You need to flip this. Earn more than you spend. Create savings. Create investments. Create assets. She committed to change. She cut her spending by 30%. She started investing the difference. She stopped consuming and started creating wealth. Within 1 year, she had $10,000 saved. Within 2 years, she had $50,000 invested. Within 5 years, she was a millionaire. She broke the consumption pattern. She became a creator of wealth, and prosperity multiplied. Story number 3. Michael. Michael was a taker. He always asked for help, always needed favors, always wanted something from others. But he never gave, never served, never added value. And he wondered, why opportunities never came, why doors never opened, why prosperity never flowed. I showed him the pattern. You're taking more than you're giving. You're consuming relationships without creating value. You need to flip this. Become a giver. Serve others. Add value. Solve problems. He committed to change. He started serving. He started giving. He started adding value to everyone he met. Within 3 months, people started referring business to him. Within 6 months, he had more opportunities than he could handle. Within 1 year, his income tripled. He broke the consumption pattern. He became a creator of value, and prosperity chased him down. Do you see the pattern? They all shifted from consumption to creation, and when they did, prosperity exploded. Now let me give you the 5-step framework to break the consumption pattern and activate prosperity. Step 1. Audit your consumption. For 1 week, track everything you consume: time, money, energy, resources. Write it all down. How much time do you spend on social media? How much money do you spend on things you don't need? How much energy do you spend on entertainment? How much do you take from others? Be brutally honest. Don't justify, don't defend. Just audit. Because you can't change what you don't measure. You can't fix what you don't see. At the end of the week, look at your audit and ask yourself, is this consumption creating prosperity or destroying it? Is this moving me toward wealth or toward poverty? Is this the life of a creator or a consumer? Step 2. Cut consumption by 50%. Once you've audited your consumption, cut it in half. If you spend 4 hours on social media, cut it to 2. If you spend $500 on unnecessary things, cut it to $250. If you take 10 favors from others, cut it to 5. This is not about deprivation. This is about liberation. Because every hour you're not consuming, you can spend creating. Every dollar you're not spending, you can invest. Every favor you're not taking, you can give. Cut your consumption by 50%. And watch how much time, money, and energy you free up for creation. Step 3. Invest the difference in creation. Now take the time, money, and energy you freed up and invest it in creation. If you freed up 2 hours per day, use them to build a business. If you freed up $250 per month, use it to invest in assets. If you freed up energy, use it to serve others. Creation is the key to prosperity. So invest in it. Build something, produce something, generate something, add value to something, serve someone, solve a problem, create wealth. This is where prosperity comes from, not from consuming more, but from creating more. Step 4. Make creation your default. For 90 days, make creation your default mode. Every time you're tempted to consume, ask yourself, can I create instead? Every time you want to scroll social media, ask, can I create content instead? Every time you want to buy something, ask, can I invest in something that creates income instead? Every time you want to take from someone, ask, can I give to someone instead? Make creation your automatic response, your default behavior, your natural habit. And after 90 days, you'll be a creator by nature, and prosperity will be your natural result. Step 5. Measure your creation. Track what you create. How many hours did you spend building your business this week? How much money did you invest in assets this month? How many people did you serve today? How much value did you add? Measure it, write it down, celebrate it. Because what you measure, you improve. What you track, you increase. What you celebrate, you multiply. And as you measure your creation, you'll see your prosperity grow. You'll see opportunities increase. You'll see income multiply. You'll see wealth flow. These are the 5 steps. Audit consumption. Cut consumption by 50%. Invest the difference in creation. Make creation your default. Measure your creation. Now let me address the objections I know you're thinking. Objection number 1. I need to relax. I can't create all the time. You're right. You need rest. But rest is not consumption. Rest is renewal. Rest is restoration. Rest is preparation for more creation. There's a difference between resting and consuming. Resting recharges you for creation. Consuming drains you from creation. Take a Sabbath. Rest 1 day per week. But the other 6 days, create, build, produce, generate. That's the biblical pattern. 6 days of creation, 1 day of rest. Objection number 2. I don't know what to create. Start with what you know. What problem can you solve? What skill do you have? What service can you provide? What value can you add? You don't need to create something revolutionary. You just need to create something valuable. And if you truly don't know, invest time in learning. Develop a skill, gain knowledge, build capacity, and then create from that. Objection number 3. I don't have time to create. Yes, you do. You have the same 24 hours as everyone else. The question is, how are you spending them? If you're spending 4 hours consuming entertainment, you have 4 hours to create. You don't lack time, you lack priorities. Cut your consumption, and you'll find the time to create. But before you go, I need to show you something deeper about this pattern. Something that will help you understand why it's so destructive and why breaking it is so powerful. The consumption pattern doesn't just destroy your financial prosperity. It destroys your spiritual prosperity, your emotional prosperity, your relational prosperity, your mental prosperity. It destroys every area of your life. Here's why. When you're in consumption mode, you're in receiving mode. You're in taking mode. You're in getting mode. And this creates a spiritual posture of lack, a mindset of scarcity, a belief that you need more, you don't have enough, you're incomplete. But when you're in creation mode, you're in giving mode. You're in producing mode. You're in adding value mode. And this creates a spiritual posture of abundance, a mindset of overflow, a belief that you have something to offer, you can create value, you're complete in God. In the Torah, we see this principle throughout. God is always creating, always producing, always giving, always adding value. And He calls us to do the same, because we're made in His image. When the Israelites were in Egypt, they were consumers. They consumed food, they consumed shelter, they consumed protection, but they didn't create. They were slaves. They were forced to build for others, but they didn't build for themselves. They were in consumption mode, and they were in bondage. But when God brought them out of Egypt, He immediately gave them creation assignments. Build a tabernacle, create a priesthood, establish a system of worship, produce offerings, generate community. They shifted from consumption to creation, and they shifted from bondage to freedom. This is the spiritual principle. Consumption creates bondage. Creation creates freedom. Consumption keeps you dependent. Creation makes you independent. Consumption makes you a slave. Creation makes you free. And this applies to every area of your life. In your relationships, if you're always consuming, always taking, always needing, you're in bondage. You're dependent. You're needy. You're draining. But if you're creating value, adding to others, serving, giving, you're free. You're independent. You're attractive. You're magnetic. In your career, if you're just consuming a paycheck, just showing up for money, just doing the minimum, you're in bondage. You're stuck. You're limited. You're capped. But if you're creating value, solving problems, producing results, serving customers, you're free. You're promoted. You're rewarded. You're prosperous. In your mind, if you're consuming negative content, consuming fear, consuming worry, consuming doubt, you're in bondage. You're anxious, you're stressed, you're limited. But if you're creating positive thoughts, creating faith, creating vision, creating possibilities, you're free. You're peaceful, you're confident, you're unlimited. The consumption pattern destroys prosperity in every area, but the creation pattern activates prosperity in every area. Now let me give you specific examples of how to shift from consumption to creation in different areas of your life. In your time, stop consuming time on social media. Start creating content on social media. Stop consuming videos. Start creating videos. Stop consuming podcasts. Start creating podcasts. Stop consuming books. Start creating books. Shift from time consumer to time creator. In your money, stop consuming products. Start creating products. Stop consuming services. Start creating services. Stop consuming experiences. Start creating experiences for others. Stop consuming investments. Start creating investment opportunities. Shift from money consumer to money creator. In your relationships, stop consuming attention. Start creating value for others. Stop consuming help. Start creating solutions. Stop consuming time from others. Start creating opportunities for others. Stop consuming love. Start creating love for others. Shift from relationship consumer to relationship creator. In your knowledge, stop consuming information. Start creating wisdom. Stop consuming facts. Start creating insights. Stop consuming data. Start creating understanding. Stop consuming education. Start creating application. Shift from knowledge consumer to knowledge creator. In your faith, stop consuming sermons. Start creating testimonies. Stop consuming prayers. Start creating answered prayers through action. Stop consuming blessings. Start creating blessings for others. Stop consuming God's Word. Start creating obedience to God's Word. Shift from faith consumer to faith creator. Do you see the pattern? In every area of life, you can shift from consumption to creation. And when you do, prosperity flows. Let me also tell you the 3 levels of creation, because not all creation is equal. Some creation produces small prosperity. Some creation produces moderate prosperity. Some creation produces massive prosperity. Level 1. Personal creation. This is when you create for yourself. You build a skill for your own benefit. You create a product for your own use. You generate income for your own needs. This is the first level, and it produces personal prosperity. You benefit, you grow, you improve. This is good. This is necessary. This is where everyone starts. But if you stay here, your prosperity is limited. Because personal creation only benefits you. And prosperity that only benefits you is limited prosperity. Level 2. Value creation. This is when you create for others. You build a skill that serves others. You create a product that solves problems for others. You generate income by adding value to others. This is the second level, and it produces multiplied prosperity. Because when you create value for others, they pay you, they refer you, they multiply you. This is better. This is more powerful. This is where prosperity accelerates, because value creation creates exchange, and exchange creates wealth. The more value you create for others, the more wealth flows to you. Level 3. Legacy creation. This is when you create for generations. You build a business that outlives you. You create a system that serves thousands. You generate impact that transforms communities. This is the third level, and it produces unlimited prosperity because legacy creation creates compound growth. It creates generational wealth. It creates lasting impact. This is the highest level. This is where the wealthy operate. This is where billionaires live. They're not just creating for themselves. They're not just creating value for others. They're creating legacy for generations. So, here's the progression. Start with personal creation. Move to value creation. Aim for legacy creation. And as you move up these levels, your prosperity multiplies exponentially. Now, let me give you a 30-day challenge that will break the consumption pattern and activate the creation pattern in your life. Days 1 to 10. Consumption audit and awareness. For the first 10 days, just audit. Track every hour of consumption. Track every dollar of consumption. Track every moment of taking. Don't try to change anything yet, just become aware. Write it all down. See the pattern clearly. Days 11 to 20. Consumption reduction. For days 11 to 20, start cutting. Cut your consumption by 30%. If you spend 3 hours on social media, cut it to 2. If you spend $300 on unnecessary things, cut it to $200. If you take 6 favors, cut it to 4. Reduce your consumption gradually. Days 21 to 30. Creation activation. For days 21 to 30, invest the time, money, and energy you freed up into creation. Build something, produce something, serve someone, add value somewhere. Create for 2 hours every day. Invest $200 in a business idea. Give 6 favors to others. And at the end of 30 days, evaluate. How do you feel? What changed? What opportunities appeared? What results did you see? I guarantee you'll see a difference. You'll feel more energized. You'll see more opportunities. You'll experience more prosperity. And after 30 days, commit to 90 days. Then commit to 1 year. Then commit to a lifetime. Because the creation pattern is not a temporary fix. It's a permanent lifestyle. It's who you were created to be. Let me also tell you what will happen when you break the consumption pattern. The benefits you'll experience. The transformation you'll see. Benefit number 1. You'll have more time. When you stop consuming time, you'll be amazed at how much time you have. Time to build, time to create, time to produce, time to serve, time to grow. You'll wonder where all this time came from. It was always there. You were just consuming it. Benefit number 2. You'll have more money. When you stop consuming money, you'll be amazed at how much money you have. Money to invest, money to save, money to give, money to multiply. You'll wonder where all this money came from. It was always there. You were just consuming it. Benefit number 3. You'll have more energy. When you stop consuming energy on entertainment, drama, and distractions, you'll be amazed at how much energy you have. Energy to create, energy to produce, energy to serve, energy to build. Consumption drains energy. Creation generates energy. Benefit number 4. You'll have more opportunities. When you become a creator, opportunities find you. People notice creators. People hire creators. People invest in creators. People partner with creators. Because creators add value, and value attracts opportunity. Benefit number 5. You'll have more prosperity. This is the ultimate benefit. When you shift from consumption to creation, prosperity flows, income increases, wealth multiplies, abundance overflows. Because creation is the source of prosperity. And when you create, you activate the floodgates of heaven. So, here's my final challenge to you. Look at your life right now. Are you a consumer or a creator? Are you spending more time consuming or creating? Are you spending more money consuming or investing? Are you taking more than you're giving? Are you focused more on entertainment or education? Be honest. Don't justify, don't defend. Just be honest. Because honesty is the first step to transformation. And if you see the consumption pattern in your life, if you recognize that it's destroying your prosperity, make a decision right now, today, this moment. I'm breaking this pattern. I'm shifting from consumer to creator. I'm choosing prosperity over poverty. I'm choosing abundance over lack. In the comments below, declare it. Say, I am breaking the consumption pattern. I am becoming a creator. I am activating prosperity. Write it down. Make it public. Create accountability. And if this video exposed the pattern that's been destroying your prosperity and showed you how to break it, subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, because this message has the power to break generational poverty, to activate generational wealth, to transform lives and futures. Remember, you were not created to be a consumer. You were created to be a creator. You were made in the image of God, and God is a creator. So when you create, you're fulfilling your divine design. You're operating in your God-given purpose. You're activating your prosperity. The consumption pattern has been destroying your prosperity, but today you're breaking it. Today you're shifting. Today you're becoming a creator. And as you do, prosperity will flow into your life like never before. Shalom, my friends, and may you be blessed with the clarity to see consumption patterns that have limited you, the courage to cut consumption and invest in creation, the creativity to know what to build that adds value to the world, the consistency to create every single day, the faith to believe that as you create, God will multiply your prosperity. Efforts, open doors of opportunity, and pour out prosperity that exceeds your wildest dreams, because you are made in the image of the Creator. And when you create, you activate the unlimited prosperity that has always been your divine inheritance.